as to who's won the race, because Ethan Hayter is now just is in second place, only 7 seconds in arrears. Huh. There we go then. 20 kilometres from home, and there is the big chat that's going on at the moment. That's Connor Swift with Elia Viviani, who's now having to work out where he sits within a lead-out role for Ethan Hayter, I'll be bound.
Yeah, and you can see he's also been European World Champion, so that's why he's got the blue bands on. So they'll be kind of figuring out when they're going to make their big move to the front, because they have to be involved in this at some point.
Yep. Well, UNOX have certainly made their move and their intentions felt. There is the view of it. Minute and 3. They're still doing a great job.
It is beginning to hurt. Those little rises will just be so painful now that they've been out there all day.
Well, a little bit of downhill respite, but only 720 metres. 3 kilometres they are away from our circuit. And here we are. Here's Zagreb business district, says the taller buildings a little bit further on. It's a fascinating city, actually. Not the prettiest, you might think, from this view, but it does have an old town that's absolutely charming, where the central cathedral sits upon the top of the mount, and that's what we used to climb up to. In fact, we've had a finish there in the past. It's today, however, it's going to be a sprint finish. Yeah, we've had some good old climbs up there. Vincenzo Nibali in 2017 was the overall winner. He finished just behind Sasha Modolo, who attacked the day. 2018, Paolo Simeon was there, Bardiani. Sensational double victory for them. Simeon finishing 11 seconds ahead of Mirko Maestri. Rhymes with pastry. Yeah, Elia Viviani, of course, won in 2022 at a mass sprint. Matej Mohoric with the bonus seconds. A man who came here as defending champion, has had a stage win, backed out of the sprint yesterday. I imagine he'd probably not be risking anything today either. 2021, the year prior, Tim van Dijken won a 3-man sprint ahead of Steve Williams and Marcus Holgaard after they pulled away on the hill. Before Caden Groves won the sprint behind 5 seconds later, you may remember, once they came down, so he didn't finish on the crest. Alessandro Fedeli it was that came home from a breakaway to cheat Jan Tratnik of victory. That was on the hill in 2019. No hill now, so I'm just kind of filling you in and reminding you about who went well in the past. But this is a different scenario because we're sprinting today, and it is this pesky circuit, which you're going to get a good view of in a few moments' time. Just drop my coffee.
So the cheat that on the peloton, they've lost Torsten Treen and Rudy Porter from doing work on the front. So the kind of pressure of having to keep that pace up is put paid to them. Now there's only 2 on the front, so we still have Simon Dalby and Oscar Onley pulling on. But eventually somebody else is going to come along and take their place, because they've kind of stabilised at this 50 seconds mark and they're kind of stuck there. So it's now 2 against 5. And even though the 5 in front are tired, the 2 behind are probably equally as tired.
So, Christoph's train is here. You can see the Norwegian champion, Fredrik Verne, the only distinctive jersey that we have within UNOX, but they'd like to actually raid for the red leaders jersey. That sits on the back of Olus Aular. That is Magnus Sheffield, young riders classification he's wearing, the whites jersey next to the Aussie champion, his teammate Luke Platt. Meanwhile, up front, 53 seconds, they still have a margin. They've got still some work to do then if they want to turn this intermediate sprint into something special. This is a request coming in from UNOX. Do you still want us to go for the intermediate? That's what that's about. I think the answer has come back. Absolutely, get on with it.
I think he's asking for reinforcements from the rear. But you can see everybody else is kind of poised for the big flight into the circuit, where the circuit starts in roughly 1.5 kilometers. So they enter the circuit then, and this could be the turn that kind of takes them in that direction. So the real fighting is really going to start soon.
Here we are. We're on our circuit, and so they will cross the line and have 3 laps to go. So it's you can actually see the inflated bollards up there. We're going round the park. It's a very long, thin park, but nonetheless we'll have a couple of 90-degree turns, both left-handers at the bottom of the circuit, and then we'll do the same at the top, always left-handers. So this is they entering the chase right now, and they are now upon the circuit themselves. You can see where we'll be rejoining it next time by. That little intersection is where we'll be coming back, and in fact there is marked the Flamme Rouge for you. That will be of relevance next time. So here we are. Bit of a heat haze as well today being generated. A lovely, very still day, 27 Celsius, one of the warmest days we've had. It's been glorious.
Yeah, and it's just about to hot up nicely for the finale of this Tour of Croatia.
5 kilometers time, we're going to have our intermediate sprint. Will they be caught? Here is a definitive time gap for you as we're just about to hit 3 hours of racing. They haven't held back today at all. And clock begins to roll right now. Here is the peloton turning on in the chase. And indeed everyone looking for UX. Come on, you're going to do some work here. And who else wants bonus seconds? Lot being asked here of Team Rinkov. They would hope to get something from today, I am certain. They've already got a King of the Mountains jersey. 15.2 kilometres, 5 kilometres to the intermediate sprint, which will take place right here. And the definitive gap is coming to you in just a few moments' time. I've got my thumb ready. Here it is. It's 36 seconds is the gap. We've got to find that if we want to contest an intermediate sprint, those who are hoping to gain time overall. It's got a bit messy out there. You can see Aula's red jersey just spearing up through the centre. He's got one man with him, and ultimately, I think it's Joseba Lopez at the moment, but it'll be Yuri Leitao late on. In fact, it already is Leitao, number 55 in the pale green and white centre of proceedings. Other armaments being brought up. That is Lopez, who's coming up the outside. Meanwhile, others, I'm actually wondering whether Aular might put it beyond reach by getting up for the intermediate sprint. That might be clever.
Well, that wouldn't be. I don't think anybody else has thought of that one yet. Yeah, that really would upset the World Tour team plans. But in the break we've lost Ayaz Turk, so he's succumbed to the pressure that's now involved.
I've got a feeling that it might well be that somebody like Joseba Lopez might actually go on a flyer to try and preempt the sprinters and leave Aular to keep his powder dry for the last. We've got all kinds of scenarios here, but we'll know the answer. It says 42 seconds now, so the breakaway's pushed on with 14 kilometres to go. I'm just wondering whether this intermediate's going to roll away from them.
I think it is. Cahirel is certainly not going to being interested in taking it back. As you said, they're going to pay attention just in case it looks they could be involved, but they really don't want to. They'd rather leave it to that last big finale sprint where the 10 seconds available for the win. That makes it very if the World Tour teams don't take it back now, then it makes it very difficult that you can change the overall GC.
Gosh, it looks like an architect's model, this, that's been realised, including the trees. Top topiary. Little double turn. Gosh, they do take it as one swoop. So there you are. You're absolutely right. May as well have had a chestnut cellar right there. 13 kilometres from home. They didn't hang around there, did they?
It doesn't look like the kind of district where you will get a chestnut cellar. It's not. It doesn't look like in any way kind of... how can I say, authentic or kind of rustic.
It's quite modern, yes. 46 seconds. They're not going to catch him. They've got 3 kilometres to go, and whatever you put in now, you might have a deficit for later on.
Yeah, those teams that are really going to be involved in that the final sprint, they can't really commit to this at the moment because they're going to burn through a couple of riders, so they're not going to use up their lead out. So it's going to stabilise. The 3, 2 and 1 seconds are going to go to the guys in the break.
Which suits Aular absolutely impeccably. He now needs to trace the likes of Ethan Hayter and Alexander Kristoff towards the finale, and he's capable of doing that. He beat Christoph yesterday, don't forget, and Hayter. Yesterday's finish was Aular, Christoph, Hayter. And right now, UNOX have said, we're not doing everything.
No, so you've almost got two races here. One, which you choose, the left hand or the right hand side of the road, and in the middle there's a big kind of gap of, right, move up there if you want, but you'll be in the wind.
Well, here is yet another look, and still looking behind here. And we said this was a strong break. Travis Steppen, the South African champion for Q365, has done a great job. His team had to put their nose in the wind, so Nico Parsini might well have some hopes today. He looked boxed out of it yesterday. In fact, many were. And in fact, not least, of course, Tobias Lund, who wears the Blue Points jersey here. Let's see how it pans out today. 43 seconds. They're only 1,900 metres away from our finish, so our breakaway is going to take the bonus seconds, which means Aular has an enhanced chance of winning this race.
He does. He's in the box seat at the moment. CRO haven't had to do any work at all, so potentially at the age you can just mark out the ride that Christophs and that Ethan Hayters of this world, and just base their whole race on those two.
Well, that's the vision they have to take, and it's really compact. This is, I think, certain teams just thinking, well, let's go for position at the very last, because there's so little. 17 seconds blanket the top 12, so you can move up by just having a good finish at the end of the day. So some of those, like Otrubra, Train, perhaps, Feta certainly, Barade, they'll be looking at each other thinking, right, I just need to finish in front of you, and then I'll be 5th in this race instead of 8th. You get the idea. DSM bringing the blue jersey of Tobias Lund. He clearly wants more and would like actually good points finish in the blue today. Why would he not? And so the double turn happens once more, and those out front are just about to take the turn towards our finale. So good for them. The intermediate sprint will ring out, not with the bell, that will be the next time by with 5 kilometres to go. Still a margin, 700 metres before we cross the line, and here they are. Arms flicking out all over the place like a dodgy dad dance, and it is Powertrain himself, Travis Steppen, looking like he's going to have the honour of crossing the line here for the intermediate sprint. These are for bonus seconds, but also I think he's done much of the work in the breakaway. They still hold 25 seconds, but there go the intermediate sprint times that were so cherished, apparently, by indeed Alexander Christoph, but there are other points up for grabs. And here we go. This is DSM that would like to enhance their position in the blue jersey. Let's wait and see. It's going to be on the finale for them. Tuck yourselves in. You can see Byron Victorious also just having a think about doing something for today. 10Ks to go until we get to the line proper, and that's when we'll be able to finally declare our champion.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of moving up for position as we come to these turns at the end of each kind of big long straight. So that's pushed the pace up just naturally, and you can see the amount of pressure they're under. The 4 riders in front, they've got, they're pulling faces now and flicking the elbow that's somebody else to come through. So they're definitely hurting in front. Well, behind here you can see there's a constant kind of moving up on each side, and that's just pushed the pace higher and higher.
Well, the breakaway still have 30 odd seconds. The time that they gained on that intermediate sprint was of no consequence. However, they're going to have a big sprint finale. I hope it ends safely.
Yeah, quite often you get this kind of finish where it's big long straight, and on paper it looks safe, but if it hasn't been too difficult, then you'll have riders involved who have, like we've got now, who, for all those guys who are on the same time in the GC who haven't got any bonus seconds but need a good finish, they have to be involved. So they're trying to follow the sprinters, but they don't have that necessary skills and reactions, and quite often we see crashes in those situations.
It's all very good on paper, but as we know, paper's highly flammable. They're going to come down here, do a loop, come back on themselves. They're going to eyeball the brake in a few moments' time, probably a few fists being shaken as well along the way. And then we will be back. Wait till you see the Flamme Rouge. That announces that sort of double phase turn that we've got that will bring us back to what has been our start-finish straight. It's almost a ground rush, and right now the pace is absolutely at its highest. Still 37 seconds to our break, for goodness sake.
Yeah, so far it's not really kind of the big engines up hit the front. So then DSM, you've got Frank Vandenbroek who's pulling on the front. So it's kind of the lightweight options for the moment. It's just kind of keeping the pace, but you can be sure that if somebody like Bahrain hit the front with their kind of bigger riders, they're going to pull this back quite quickly.
The breakaway. I'd love to see him make it. There's your little shilly-shally to bring us back around. This is a big old loop if you can squeeze through, but they're going to have to compress. They're about 10 wide on the approach here, and suddenly everyone is going to have to squeeze in, and they just about get away with it. Almost coming to a dead stop behind. And the margin, it says 36 seconds. It's actually 26 seconds as I've just timed it. So, they may well strip the clock out in a few moments' time because they're going to be very, very much in sight of them. But 7.6 kilometres to go. I don't think they're going to hang out there. Half a minute advantage. They're still kicking on. They really mean this. Well, they may as well go all in.
They may as well, kind of fully committed to this. You can see Stedman. He looks like he's pulling the hardest, but he might just be making the most face. He's trying to keep this pace up.
It's wonderful. 7.4 kilometres of the day remaining. Then we're going to come across the line to take the bell.
Here we go.
Yeah.
A counter-attack.
Finally. And just trying to see who it is.
It is Patrick Rybik from Mayola Push Bikers.
Good lad. Well, he's certainly committed.
He's ambitious. He thinks that the peloton's going to let him go at this point of the race. He'd probably been better to take a teammate with him, but since there's only 3 of them left from that team, it's a third of that squad has attacked.
It's Rysik who has gone for it. Yep. And there he is. Looking at a few others that have decided to engage the chase. Rysik not brilliantly well placed, but he does have teammates from Mayola who would actually like to just get something out of the day. At least he's making us talk about him. Meanwhile, we had a very brief look there. It was almost a snapshot, wasn't it, of Parasini, who might want to get something more out of this race. He already had a stunning finale, getting it's only 250 metres now, and Yola Kometa fully committed for Erik Vetter.
Yeah, I love the way that you say that so that it rhymes.
It was purely accidental. Andrew Mobile, of course, have got had Turk up in the front group. We're down to 4, as you can see, and still they push on. Won't be exactly throwing to the line here because there's no bonus seconds or anything else up for grabs, save for the bell, which they will take with a margin of 36 seconds. I kind of feel sorry for them.
Yeah, you have to think that they're just being kind of left out there to dangle at the moment, and even though they're playing We Will Rock You, you kind of know that their time's up. You can see there's a bit of a mad dash from behind.
Aberastorian Little Trek, perhaps for them, would like a stage win. They take that corner beautifully, I must say, with a margin of 27 seconds, it says. Just about to hit the line to take the bell, which will announce the last lap of the race here. And here come, well, everybody, quite frankly. Bahrain victorious. I'm sure that Matej Mohoric would quite like to have something out of this, but I think it's Govetska who is their man today. He's their chosen sprinter, so Nico Barati will be leading him out. The bell already sounding, and the hoardings here drowning out the sound of La Mattina as they hit it right now. And everyone else coming through to get something out of the day. Tobias Lund wants a good finish in the blue jersey. Thank you very much. He'd quite like to hold on to that. Why not? So DSM are doing a good job here as they cross the line right now. 15 seconds only it is. 14, in fact, is the gap. It's curtains for the break. 4.6 kilometres remaining only of this Crow race. It's been a terrific race, I must say. We've had some grandstand finishes. Had some quiet moments through the countryside, but lots to look at as well. And just look at Alexander Krysov. He would like a stage win, thank you very much. He hasn't had one in this race, and he's been very close without the cigar. There is just going to be 2 left. Already saying goodbye is Martin Pedersen, the Dane, who was part of it for Lidl Trek. So 3 remain. It'll be handshakes for them fairly soon. They hold a margin as declared of 25 seconds. They may well have been able to kick on. Stedman just hangs an arm out and says, you come through, my friend. Matthias Kostanski it is from Vosta ATS, who does indeed come through. They're sharing the duties nicely, but there's a lot of fresher legs behind that have been spending much of the day hiding themselves for the wind, and now they're going to put their nose into it.
Yeah, they are, and in 4 minutes' time, roughly, we're going to know who's won this edition of the Tour of Croatia. That you could see that the break just fell apart on that tiny rise, so the end is nigh for them.
It is, but the end will be nice for Allah if he gets there. DSM spearing through. There's the blue jersey. You can also see coming up Jaco. This will be for Campbell Stewart. May well go solo, and if he wants to do that, Tobias Lund is the wheel to follow. Let's see. A good finish by Campbell Stewart would not be a surprise today. The last 3 standing. It is Gamper of Santic. We have Stedman of Q365. The South African champion, and indeed Vosta of ATS is here. Costani of Vosta ATS, I beg your pardon. So they're split one side of the road and the other. That's often a problem when we are on approach. 3.2 kilometres to go. Not going to be too much of a problem right now, but here we are. It's the big turn at the bottom of our circuit here. More compression required from those who are chasing on. That looked like some skirted and skimmed the barriers there with their elbows. And our breakaway just about to be tagged here. They're being automatically caught. If there was a combativity award, it would have to go to Travis Stedman, the South African. Well, he's kicked on at the moment. Sheffield is also setting the pace. Yeah. Looks like he's got Tarling there on his back wheel, looking to see where is Ethan Hayter, as Plapp guides Hayter up right now, the Australian champion with the golden shoulders. And in fact, the entire Ineos team are here to make sure Hayter gets a good finish. He sits his 7 seconds in arrears of Aular. Where is the red jersey of Aular? He's on the back wheel, of course, of Ethan Hayter. He's got his lead-out man as well, Yuri Leitao, absolutely there. There's a lot of skirmishing. Centre of the road is a place where those who are setting the pace drift into, but DSM have gone on a flyer on the left-hand side of the road. You'll see it in a moment. Just heading things for now. There is number 11, Ethan Hayter. He's the protected rider. Viviani is acting as sweeper just behind him. As number 47, Postelberger tries to come up and make a nuisance of himself. We're looking for, that is Postelberger now has on his wheel Campbell Stewart, who's in the frame. Centre of the road to play with. Come and join the party if you want to, and Kyra Rao will probably fold into that void. It's others that do precisely that, as Q365 in their silver also come and make a nuisance of themselves. Here we are. 97, there is Alexander Kristov, who has found some space, and it's they that spear up the middle. Looking for the red jersey, can't see it on this shot just for now, but it'll be off the back of the Ineos train. I believe that's where they are going to be most comfortable. And Mate Mohoric is bringing up here Burati, and I think on the back of Burati is Govetska for Bahrain Victorious. But centre of the road getting very busy as well. This is Timson Teutenberg for Lidl Trek, wants to get something out of this race. And Parasini's men are also skirmishing. There is Parasini himself, just divorced for the time being. In fact, Parasini is following Christoph's wheels. Here we go. Flamme Rouge has been seen. We've got a double turn, don't forget, before we actually come back down the other side. Positioning absolutely vital at a moment like this. No sign of Aular at the moment. Still eating into this one. Parasini has got Corey Davis leading him out. Meanwhile, Campbell Stewart hasn't lit it up just yet. Double phase turn to come. Christoph is going solo, and there is the red jersey. Big hamper on the brakes there for Aular. Gets onto the back wheel of Alexander Christoph. That's a good wheel for him to follow. Krzysztof is going to try and get a stage win out of here, and Aular knows this, wants to stay with him. Aular wrestling with it, as you can see in the red jersey. Krzysztof is about to be released. His aero helmet is absolutely where it needs to be. Parasini, and we've got a crash, and it's the red jersey's gone down. That's Aular, I'm afraid. And so it's up for grabs out front with bonus seconds. He'll get the same finish, but bonuses could count for an awful lot. Oh, and here we are. It had to be coming through. Stewart gets there, but where did Krzysztof finish? That's in second place. That's 6 bonus seconds for him. That's not going to be enough for Krzysztof, who was at 9 bonus seconds, and I believe Aular has done enough. We will see where Hayter finishes. Great finish there for Campbell Stewart. On the deck was Aular. I think Campbell Stewart has just denied Krzysztof his stage win here, and the maths will indeed factor out, but I think Aular may well have held on here because of a crash in the last 3 for our leader. Wow.
Yeah, as predicted, that quite often that type of finish produces a few waves in the peloton by people kind of only capable of following a sprinter's wheel, and unfortunately Aluar's been taken out on the left-hand side of the road there. But he's been saved by Campbell Stewart coming over the top of Alec under Krzysztof in those last 50 metres. So, X were thinking they were going to take it, and then suddenly Jake will pop up with him, Campbell Stewart, and take the win. It looks like they've taken the overall win. So, at the end of the day, it looks like Aluar's not too badly injured. But there was a dodgy moment there where one of the other riders had to kind of jump over his body, so that was quite an impressive thing to see.
Oh, Aular, bruised but unbowed. He should come to our podium as our winner. Alexander Krzysztof, had he got the 10 bonus seconds at the last, he would have vaulted and stolen the race. But the finish of Campbell Stewart for Jaco Alula was enough to win the day. So I believe that Aular is our champion.
Yeah, he does. And you can see the little trick there already, kind of looking after him, asking him what happened. You imagine there was a number of riders kind of got taken out of that final sprint with the waves that appeared in the peloton. I'm actually surprised that Carvel teammate hasn't given him a bike to finish on, because he's going to have to walk from here to the end.
Seems happy to do so. Let's have a look at the crash here, and a little bit of movement. Oh, and it came from a Bahrain rider. We'll get that in a moment. Let's have a look now. Just watch the movement. Is it untoward? That's the question. I think it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. To be fair. Oh, it was a nasty face-on scrape, wasn't it? So I don't think any foul or fake. Oh, there we are.
So I think his gear actually jumped, and his foot's come out, and then it wasn't the fault of anybody else. It's some kind of mechanical issue there. So that's definitely something that happened mechanical, where looks like the gears jumped just when he went for his biggest.
Campbell Stewart took the stage, gets 10 bonus seconds. It's of no consequence. Alexander Krzysztof gets 6 bonus seconds for finishing second ahead of Gleivar. Krzysztof, had he won the day, would have won the race, but 6 bonus seconds were not enough for him. He was at a 9 seconds deficit. He would have won by 1 second. As it stands, he finishes runner-up to Aular, who crosses the line now. Wow. It's a tough game, this.
Yeah, and he's finally, his teammate has given up his bike to Venezuelan champion, and allowed him to finish actually on a machine instead of having to walk across the line. So that's good to see.
What a day. And indeed, what a finale. Campbell Stewart takes this last stage as we just dwell on the Croatian National Theatre. I feel like bursting into song, I must admit. But yes, overall, Aular, because of the late crash, will be given the same time as Campbell Stewart, but without the bonus seconds, which in the end he did not need, because Alexander Krzysztof finished second behind Campbell Stewart. Alexander Krzysztof will be a little bit fed up.
He will be slightly annoyed, so he moved up he becomes second on GC. But Aluar could have won that stage, and how spectacular would that have been? So we run through it here again. You've got Mati Mohoric, big fight for the last corner. Ineos got swamped. It started slightly too early, didn't have the kind of manpower. You can see Alouar moving up on the right-hand side there.
Had to dab the brakes before they came in here.
Yeah, so he's kind of slightly out of position, but it's not a full panic yet. And he's moving up, so he's on them. You can see him following Alexander Kristoff, so he knows the right wheel to be on, and here he's in a good position.
Goes by Kristoff. He's thinking about the victory here, and then it's a gear issue. Watch this. Suddenly, well, he eased up and then pedaled again, and that's where his
Campbell Stewart almost got boxed in, but a little bit of elbow movement, and then out he comes and wins by two bike lengths. So no doubt that he was the fastest in the race.
I think so. We said it earlier when we watched him move on day one to finish in 4th place from about 10th place in the last 100 metres or so. So, yeah, the fastest in the race finally gets his just desserts, and the way he sailed by there was absolutely impeccable. Campbell Stewart is more than a prospect. Shouldn't be used only as a lead-out man. He needs to have his fun himself, and today he did. Got the opportunity to take it cleanly. Positioning's been his problem. Whoa, that is still such a nasty look.
You look at that jump. Who was that?
I think it was the Slovenian champion.
That was impressive because to jump that high, in that situation shows a lot of kind of awareness of what's just happened.
It was Stocek, I believe, champion of Slovakia. I beg your pardon. The finish line here. Well, here is Campbell Stewart, and in the end, comfortably. And he's going to be sent a Christmas card, I think, by Aulas Alouar, because winning this day by Campbell Stewart denied Alexander Kristoff the bonus seconds he would have needed to win this race by 1 solitary second.
Yeah, and also I think Tobias Lund wins the points jersey by dint of Alouar not marking any points in this sprint. So
wow.
There's benefits to everybody here.
Best place for Ineos Grenadiers was Connor Swift, who finished in 17th place. Ethan Hayter, who may have had some options, 20th today. There's the Croatian champion.
So he's the person that we just saw do the impressive bunny hop over a body.